Hello, everyone. Welcome to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. And this is the Going Solo with Cece show. And I am Cece Schatz, your host. I am the doyen of relationship building, and I am also a divorce, dating, and life coach. And so it's really great to have you here. You know, I tell you, this show has been around for quite a long time now. And what we do is we really help people be able to move forward in their lives, coming from a transition of possibly loss in their lives, a relationship loss of some sort, whether it be by death or by by divorce, but taking that leap, right? Making that transition into stepping into your new single life. And what better guest do we have tonight on the show? I tell you, she is an awesome individual. We're going to talk about uncovering your natural purpose. And we have Edna J. White with us. She's a certified life coach. Oh, let me see here. I think I almost lost her. There we go. There she is. Welcome to the show, Edna. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thank you so much for allowing me to be here. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, it is great having you. Well, you're also, you're a certified life purpose and performance coach. You're a speaker and author, and you're also a licensed real estate broker and an instructor. And so I know you wear many hats. And so going through your life, you're understanding what's important with finding your purpose in life,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
And so share with us a little bit about how why you decided to help others on that path.
Well, I decided, I think the universe decided for me a long time ago. When I first started this journey, I didn't know I was on a journey, if that makes sense. I was young, and I was a co-pastor of a church that I was in charge of the youth department. And I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. So I never talked about it. I never had any instinct to kind of bring it up. But I noticed that when the children that I was working with kind of had some kind of symptoms as I did. So I started inquiring and started, coaching them, only to find out that they were very, they were hurting. The young people were hurting. And I coached, I counseled 9 to 14. And I found out that they were hurting, and they were carrying not only the baggage of themselves, but the baggage of their parents. So they were like, holding on to my mom doesn't have this, my dad doesn't have this, and my mom's here, my dad's here, and here I am. So when I discovered that, I said, okay, I got to do something about this, because now I know that I wasn't alone, because all these kids are here. Started a program that made a hit in the community. I had 30 kids a day for about 2 weeks of that program. And I met their parents, only to understand that the parents were nothing but the children with adult bodies. So that started my journey, and I started to go to school and learn, the psychology of it all. And then I took some life coaching classes, and it all culminated. And I was able to go out on my own, not thinking later on that what I was doing as a realtor, because I owned my own offices, was the same as coaching. All of it kind of meshed together, if I could say that. So I was coaching people and encouraging them and empowering them. Empowering them, that they were excited about having a home, and I was there for the long run, and putting all that together created in 2015 what I call the second chance. And the second chance was what is developed now. And I know that everyone needs a second chance, and we get more than a second chance. We just don't realize it. We start over, and then we get up again, start over, and we get up again. So we always getting a second chance. So I said, so that's where I am right now.
I so get that. And I also realize that sometimes when we go through situations in our life, people that are around us kind of gravitate to us, right?
Sure.
Because there's some sort of, I don't know, is there a vibration of understanding,
Sure.
maybe,
Yeah.
or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And so I totally understand that reasons why they gravitated to you.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I'm getting over a cold. So I struggle. And nighttime seems to be my worst.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Night
Nighttime
weather
in the
changes.
morning. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, you know, I've known for a very long time that there was a special purpose in my life, reason why I do what I do, and the reasons why I think the way I think. And I seem to be, and as my grandmother always said, a little bit different. And excuse me. And the reason being is because I think there was an underlying purpose of what I was supposed to experience in life so that I could share with other people.
Sure.
That's the only thing I can come up with, right?
Sure.
And so, yeah. And so I think that's the same for you. And so I really get hats off to you for understanding, what you've gone through, that as difficult as it was for you, and now helping other people, achieve that, getting through that. It's a really a wonderful thing for you to be able to connect with them and give them the hope and security and the pathway to a change, in their life. And so now if someone is going through something like this and they feel that they're really having a difficult time finding their way, are there any suggestions that you could give someone as to how do you go about really understanding your purpose? Like, so often we go through life and we kind of think like, what's happening?
Right.
How do they get a little more centered to be able to find their purpose in life?
Well, a lot of times is that if we sometimes we go through life and 10 years we can have a purpose. And then the next 5 years, it could change. Then the next 10 years, it could change. So it's not always the same, but the feeling is always the same. Like, what is going on? A lot of times why we get uncentered is because we start asking other people outside of ourselves. So you need to go and start asking yourself, what is going on? We go and tell, let's just say if you're a teenager, you go and you say, Mom, I don't know what's going on. Or we go tell a counselor, but we often forget the very center of our lives is us. It's really the answer comes from within. And we forget to ask ourselves, what is going on? How can we center this? How we can get back to where we are? What is, and we see the signs, but because we're so dependent on other people, sometimes we ask other people, and then that feeds into our energy and lowers our energy. And therefore, maybe 20 years in, you'll say, oh, why am I like this? And you're sitting by yourself, and all of a sudden, boom, the answer comes. Only to know that, oh man, I could have known that answer if I would have asked myself 20 years ago. But I asked so-and-so. I trusted their, because they don't have the same perception as you would. And if you're a godly person, you believe that, listen, God brought you here. So he has all faith in you. Why do you have faith in somebody else to ask the question that's already in you?
Yeah, that makes sense, because so often, we're directed by other people, right? And what their perception is of what they think we should do in our life, And I know, like my son's going to college, and and he's at that point in his life where he's trying to figure out what he wants to do, and where he wants to go. And I know sometimes he'll talk to me a little bit about it, but I don't want to tell him what to do, because I think that, the answers are there.
They are.
If he looks deep enough, And so I said,
you teach him
just focus on your school now, focus on the courses that you're taking. And when something comes to you that you have an interest in, take the course.
Right.
Because it's telling you something,
It's teaching them how to have free will. See, free will is just the thought that I can make a choice. I don't need anyone else to help me make a choice. And that even means people of authority, our parents, principals, spiritual leaders, any of that. It doesn't take precedence over our lives, because I've had that happen. And I'm pretty sure you had that happen, that someone told you, oh, well, you should be married. Oh, yeah, you should, be with this guy. Oh yeah, you should
That's
go
why
this
I'm here.
direction.
That's
Oh
why I'm
yeah,
here.
it's like, oh yeah, he's great for you, or oh yeah, she's great for you. Oh yeah, this job is perfect for you. But they're seeing it out of their eyes and not your eyes. And
Yeah.
that's the big picture, is seeing things out of your eyes. And you're doing right by him. Let him figure it out. Let him figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. He's lucky to be able to be in the position that he's in.
Yeah, we weren't that
No,
lucky.
no.
we got directed. We got directed.
Directed, and then we kind of just went by the seat of our
We were
pants.
not weird, but
Yeah,
no,
okay.
no, girl. We wasn't on the seat of our pants. We was on our butt. Okay, there was no pants involved.
That's funny. Well, we have a lot of people here that are listening, and they are going through that because there's a transition happening within their lives. A lot of them are going through a relationship breakup of some sort, whether it be by death or by divorce, and so their lives are starting to make a whole new transition.
Right.
And now is the time, the perfect time, to really go within and ask yourself, what is it? What does make you happy?
Right.
What do you believe that your purpose in life is?
Sure.
And so can we look not only in today's realm, can we look into the future? I mean, when we're asking ourselves, what is our purpose in life? Are we to not only think of in today's world and then think, well, what about if whatever we do today is going to affect us in the future? Am I correct?
Right. That's why you live in the moment, but you plan for the future. You live in the moment, but you plan for the future. Everything is always because if you're living in the moment, you're appreciating everything in the moment. And as you're going through life in the moment, and it's like I tell the story all the time. I learned how to live in the moment when I was washing dishes. And for the first time in I think maybe 20 years, I felt the soap. I felt how great Dawn felt. I was the palm olive woman, I was feeling it. I was like, oh wow, this is really great. And I'm feeling the plate, and I'm in the moment. That was my first awakening moment of being in the moment. And that's how you have to be, because if you appreciate the key to life is gratitude and appreciation. That's it. When you appreciate the tiny things, like I was appreciating the dawn, the feel of the dawn, and I was the lady with the hands, and I was doing all that. When I was in that moment and I was in appreciation and gratitude, the universe recognized that energy, then turned it on for tomorrow, then turned it on for the next day. So every time that I'm appreciating the moment, I'm signaling to the universe tomorrow, the next day. So it's creating a momentum to the future. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't strategize and create a plan. Like I talked to someone today about a bucket list, and I was like, I don't like the bucket list. Let's just make a list and check everything off and do it. Let's do to-do list. Let's do it. And so they was like, oh, that makes sense, but create a plan to do these things. We don't plan to say, okay, I want to go to Italy. Oh, I can't do that. And immediately, guess what that is? That's your plan. I don't have enough money. Guess what? That's your plan. So, if you want to go somewhere, you got to make a plan. What do I have to do to make this happen? And that's part of it. It's action. So being in the moment is all about action, gratitude, and appreciation at the same time.
Yeah, that totally makes sense, because I do think that when we put it out in the universe, when we're thankful for what we have, and we have that appreciation and that gratefulness, we're in like a zone, right?
Yeah.
And what happens is that things happen then around us. We can start seeing the path a little bit clearer of what we need to do.
Sure.
Yeah, I totally understand that completely. And often, isn't it true that we have a path or a vision that is that we don't understand, right? Things happen to us that we don't understand why they're happening to us. And so what would you say about that when something is happening around you, like doors are opening for you in work or whatever, and you're thinking, what's up with this? Why is this happening to me? Is it because we're supposed to walk through that door? Or are we supposed to
Sure.
question what we have?
What I often reflect on is when things are happening like that. I think I go back to when I was five, and I fell off the swing. And I fell off the swing, but guess what I did? Got back on the swing. Okay? 5-year-olds have that temperament to keep it moving, no matter what it is. They have, I'll cry for mommy, but I'm gonna dust myself off. And even if I go back tomorrow, I'm getting back on that swing, no matter what. We have to go with the flow. See, 5-year-olds go with the flow. They just go with it.
Mm-hmm.
We as adults are not imaginative anymore. So 5-year-olds are always imaginative. Okay, if I take a break, I tell mommy, she puts a Band-Aid on, then later on I'm going outside and I'm going to get back on that and conquer that. If it's be a bike, a swing, if I'm jumping from the roof on a tree, whatever I'm doing, I'm going to figure it out. We as adults, we don't do that. Okay, I'm going to figure it out. We don't take that action and say, okay, we need to walk through that door. First, when the door opens, we don't accept it. We're looking around. We're trying to figure out the sign. The sign's there, a wide open door, unless you're in a horror movie, right? It means walk in. If a door opens, walk in. You're not in a horror movie, so walk in. We're looking around, and then sometimes we even go the other way. But we don't accept the door that's open. We don't accept that that's the sign. That's one thing we need to do is accept it. Because a 5-year-old will accept, oh, yeah, let me go in this door. This door's open. Let me go in here. So they go in. Then when they go in, they see what's going on. They jump right in with what's going on. So they go with the flow. Us, we'd be like, is this real? We start questioning, is this real? Am I worth it? Am I enough? Is they enough? What's going on? We start doing all of those things instead of going with the flow. Go with the flow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've said many times that I wouldn't be sitting here doing what I'm doing had I not done that, because things would happen to me and I'll be saying like, what? I don't think I could do that. But then I thought, okay. And then I'll just say, no, whatever.
Yeah.
And then another opportunity will come up, right? Another one will come up. And it's like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to be doing this, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, and
it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be happening, and you're supposed to accept it. The only thing that we're supposed to be worried about is accepting it. That's it. That's all. That's it. Accepting it, learning to say thank you. It's great. How the what's it? Miss Universe. There you go. I'm getting off before she gets the award. Thank you. When that's all we got to do is accept it. Thank you, and then go from there.
Yeah,
because the gratitude is what it lights it up. Because, like you said, one thing after the other. Like, I never thought that. I'm like, oh my gosh, every year I'm getting an award. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then I had to stop. Let me shut up. I know what's going on here. Thank you.
It's funny because when you say that, I got an award on Businesswoman of the Year one time.
Okay.
On Alignable, and I'm like, what? And they sent me this
thing. This year. I just got it from my area this year. Yeah.
You got it, yeah. And so I think like, what's happening here? And I was very surprised, but I accepted it.
Yep.
Thank you very much. I have it on my information. I'm proud.
That's right. Just all you got to do is say thank you.
Absolutely.
Amazing thing.
Any pat on the back you want to give me, I'm
absolutely
happy.
Take it. It's time. You put in so much work. What do you put in work for?
Yeah.
To get something out of it.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Phil says, what's the payoff? Mm-hmm. If you don't ever say thank you,
yeah,
that's not the payoff. You want to say thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely. I know for me, I get 100-fold back. I mean,
yes, absolutely. I do too.
Monetary, but I do get a tremendous amount of.
Well, I'm looking for that, girl. I'm looking for that.
Well, the monetary's okay, and I'm looking for that this year, right? But
Right.
but I've got a roof over my head, and I'm managing to make things happen,
Right.
and I'm thankful for what I do have, but I wonder, sometimes that how my life was before. I mean, I remember one time thinking, is this all there is?
You're right.
Is this it?
I
And
remember saying that too. Yeah.
yeah, and I had no idea what I had in store. So
Because once you become your real self, like your original self, that 5-year-old that's sitting and what's beautiful about both of us, and I could see your 5-year-old, I could see her, and I have my 5-year-old inside of me. Like it's great, like to meet somebody who's 5 years old. But who's 50, who's,
right.
Who's 60, who's 40, who's 30. You meet the 5-year-old. It's like we have not stopped being authentic. There was a time that was clouded, but we were always authentic. But now that we're out in the open, it's authentic, but we have not stopped being imaginative. That's the key thing. Imagination. If you can imagine it, you can have it.
Right.
That's what a 5-year-old thinks. If I can imagine, I can have it.
Yeah. That is so great. That is so great. We're going to take a quick commercial. When we come back, let's talk a little bit more about the 5-year-old because I quite like her.
Yeah, I like her too.
I think she's fun. And so let's come back to that because I think we do need to have that spark of energy in our lives, right?
Me too.
And being able to explore new and things that we would have never imagined that we'd explore. So you are a wonderful individual. You are really touching on and uncovering our natural purpose in life. And I want to thank you so much, Edna J. White. You are a certified life coach. You are a performance coach and a speaker, wonderful speaker and an author. And you also have your real estate license too. So, you've got many, many hats. And I know that you are definitely helping those around you. Before we go on a quick break, I want to make sure everyone has your website. Yes. And the website is thisisforyou.com. What an awesome website is that? Thisisforyou.com. If you just don't forget that. Thisisforyou.com. Yeah, absolutely. So go check that out while we're on our quick break or sitting with us and watch our commercials. We appreciate that. But you guys are listening to Going Solo with Cece. This is WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and we're going to be right back. So hang tight with us. Thanks, Edna.
You're welcome.
Well, welcome back. You guys are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and we are on the Going Solo with Cece show, where we talk about just about anything, right? That's what makes it fun. And we talk about anything that moves us through, hopefully into a positive direction in our life. And we have Edna with us, Edna J. White. She's a certified life coach. She's a performance coach, speaker, author, and she does real estate. She's also an instructor. And before the show, before the first half of the show, we were talking about, Edna, uncovering our natural purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the things that you had said, it's really like go within, your purpose is within yourself.
Right.
And you know it if you just listen quietly to yourself, it's there.
Sure.
And then be willing to walk through the doors, right? When the doors are open for you, have the courage to be able to step forward, but not only step forward, but step forward with wonderment, right?
Right.
With grasping what's all there in order for you to enjoy and learn and to be able to grow from, because so often we don't do that.
No.
And then listen to our 5-year-old, right? Our 5-year-old inner self, and explore things in a way that creates enlightenment for us, and that will help us with our finding our natural purpose. So now, as we move forward in our lives and we're doing these kind of things, are there any other suggestions that you could give someone as they're on that path of discovery?
Sure. I will tell you, we're talking about the 5-year-old.
Right.
When you find grumpy old men and grumpy old women, they've lost their inner child. Their inner child has been lost, because that brings the fun in everything. I'm all about fun, and I'll tell you the story. My mom asked me when I think I was 12, and she said to me, "What do you want to be when you get older?" So, being in a household with my mom, who was the breadwinner, and she was working all the time, and she was she worked as a maid, and then she worked in nursing. She got a license to be a nurse, and seeing her work really hard, and I became the surrogate mom to my siblings. I had 4 sisters and 1 brother. So she asked me, now this is happening to me now. Now think about this. I'm in the throes of all of this that's going on. She asked me, "What do you want to be?" And I looked at her and said, "I don't know what I want to be, but definitely I want to have fun." Those are my words to her at 12. And she laughed and she said, "You can't have fun working. When you get older, you're not going to have fun." I said, "Oh no, I'm going to have fun." She brought it up to me about a year ago. She said, "You remember when you said you was going to have fun? You're doing it every day. I can't, you're like a free spirit." But I had spoke this over my life. And let me tell you, when you lose the little child in you that's so creative and so fun and so want to roll in the dirt, or want to do the dances that you want, to get to the dance or get the award and say, lose that, it breaks you down. It brings you to a place there's nothing more, because imagination and creativity is what we're here for. If we think about God, right? If we say we believe in God, he has to be creative, because look what we got going on here.
Right.
All this beauty. All this. Mm-hmm. So it has to be creative. When we lose our creativeness within us, we start losing life. Mm-hmm. So we become grumpy old men and miserable old women. Mm-hmm. And I forgot the saying that my mother used to say. Do you remember what it was? It was like when women were like very mean all the time. I forgot, there was something she used to call them. But anyway, you don't want to be that.
Yeah, that is true. And sometimes what I found is that sometimes if you're in a relationship that isn't working, then you start mirroring yourself to that other person. And then you lose yourself within it. And so you don't want to do that. You definitely want to, dig deep and be able to know who you are and what you want in life, and your joy. Make sure you tap
Absolutely.
into that joy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you don't want someone, if you're like at my stage in life now, I've had 2 divorces, right? They were wrong. They were not good. And I said, okay, now I've dated. Now let's not get that twisted. I've dated and I'm still dating. But I have to find that one that's like simpatico with me. But however, when we get involved like that, we have to make sure we're the one that we want. So if we want somebody who's loving, gotta be that. If we want somebody who's funny, guess what? You gotta be funny.
Mm-hmm.
If you want somebody who can communicate, guess what you gotta be? You gotta be a communicator. You can't want everything and provide nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that. You can't do that. And yes, opposites attract, but that's opposites of character, not opposites of what you want.
Right. Yeah, because this is a lifestyle that you're trying to put together. Right. And if you don't mesh like that, it's certainly not going to work. Let's talk a little bit about, before we close out the show here, I'd like to make sure the audience knows that you do have, you do give coaching courses and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the courses that you have. And I'd also like to talk a little bit about your book.
Okay. Well, which one?
Well, whichever one you want to share with us.
Okay. So I do have courses. I teach one-to-ones, but I love teaching in groups. Mm-hmm. So if it's a group of an organization, employees, I teach about life coaching is very important for employee retention. Very important, because if you have a happy employee, you have great production, and you have a happy employer. So that it works all together. And I kind of work with companies to create that simpatico in a group and then separately once they start coming to me. So it's important to know that that's how I work. And I also work, I guess my specialty is with women of color, because a lot of times women of color think they're not worthy of whatever everyone else is worthy of. And we come down a road of, deprivation and intergenerational things that are going on, and we don't know how to get out of it. So I teach about that. Because when I free the mom, guess what I free? The children. Mm-hmm. I free them. So I talk about a lot about that. And I do a lot of one-to-ones, and my courses are all about mindset. And you can find them on Teachable, Miss Edna, just put in Miss Edna and Teachable. I'm there. Okay. And you can find me there. But I like to do one-to-ones and presentations. So I do a lot of those. So if you want me to come to you, I'm here. Hi, thank you.
Absolutely. Let me put up your website here again, too, so they can find your information on there, right? Thisisforyou.com.
Yes.
Thisisforyou.com. So just remember that. So tell us a little bit about your books.
So I don't know which one I should start with. Okay, so I'm most proud of, I am, like I told you, I'm a childhood survivor. Mm-hmm. And I was abused from the age of 6 to 15. And it's incestual. It was from my stepdad. And what I thought was, I had a lot of trauma in my life, right? And in my book, I talk about our lives being an onion. And you know how complicated an onion is, right? Mm-hmm. When you start peeling it off, you start getting a little twinge in your nose. Mm-hmm. And so that goes up to your eyes, and then you start crying. So all the layers of how things happen or happen to you, mm-hmm. on the exterior, because I talk about the exterior stuff. Mm-hmm. And I wanted my book to not be so triggering, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
All of us have a story, and that's important. But what did you take from the story? That's what I wanted to share. And I'm most proud of that book because the first year I put it out, I didn't expect anything from anybody. I just wanted to put my story out, wanted to get it done. And the first year, a major organization called RAINN, RAINN.org, picked it up and said that this is going to be our preferred reading. And I was most honored by that. And that encouraged me to continue to write. So that was one of the books that I really encourage everyone. It's been across the world. I've counseled people in Ireland, Australia, Netherlands, China, and I've been really successful with that book. The one book now that I have that's recent is called The Abundant Mindset. It talks about the mind and how we don't know what abundance is.
Mhm.
We hear the word, we've read it, but we really don't know what it is. And I talk about what it really means to us.
Mhm.
And it doesn't mean rich. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean wealthy. It means abundance, how you can obtain. It's the middle piece between manifestation, creation, and manifestation. That's what it is. It's the middle piece. That piece that says, what am I going to switch on and what am I going to switch off? Am I going to get rid of the thought that, oh, well, my mom told me I have to work really hard for my money? Should I switch that off or should I keep it on? So it teaches you about things that we need to get rid of that no longer serve us, that were not serving us in the beginning. So those are the books that I'm really proud of.
Yeah, that's very powerful. That's extremely powerful, because so often we live our lives as people want us to live them, not as we really choose to live them.
Girl, I was living the life of a picket fence. Now, mind you, I'm living in chaos. Okay. Total chaos. But I was living for the picket fence, the 1.5 kids, the dog, the great husband, and I was living in chaos. How could anything come out of that?
Mhm.
Couldn't. Nothing could come out of that.
Yeah. Well, you have, because now you have found your
I have.
purpose.
I muddled through that.
Absolutely. So now you've uncovered your natural purpose.
Yes.
And we all have it. That's the reality.
That is correct.
We all have it to whatever degree it is that you want,
Exactly.
I met someone not too long ago that was interested in writing poetry and writing itself, and then always wanted to learn how to play the piano. So bought, a piano and, all of these kind of things. And I thought, this is great because, he's really focusing on what he truly feels like that brings him joy. That really, he spent a lifetime doing all the things that you're supposed to do. And now he's focusing on what he truly wants to do, which is, I thought was pretty awesome and was very inspirational indeed. So you are an inspiration. And I want to thank you so much for being on the show here today. Are there any last words?
Day. You made my day. I was having a bad day. You made my day.
Oh no, you're doing great. And I tell you what, helping people with probably one of the most difficult times in their lives, really truly understanding themselves, because they're in a rut, and they're trying to figure it out, what to do and how to move forward. Helping them being able to kind of sort that out in their own mindset is truly probably very rewarding. And so I thank you.
It is. I will tell you that it is, but I've learned that I have to get paid for what I do. And I am amazingly thankful that I've gotten to the place that I can say, thank you. Here I go. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, are there any closing words you'd like to leave our audience here tonight?
I just want you all to know, because we're on Going Solo Media, and I am 57. Okay. And don't count yourself out for being with someone at this late age. Just don't count yourself out, because you're getting yourself ready. You all of what you're doing, getting yourself happy and having fun and being creative and just being in purpose, is getting yourself ready for that amazing person who can be your partner, not companion, but your partner for the rest of your 1/3 of life.
Well said. Beautifully said. And again, her website is thisisforyou.com. We have wonderful Edna J. White. It is so great to have you here. You're a certified life purpose and performance coach, speaker, author, and licensed real estate broker. So we really do appreciate all.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Cece.
And we want to thank you so much. So everyone, she was just recently on NBC, so we know she's going places. So we're really, really happy for you.
Thank you so much. Look, I'm doing it again. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And that the world is really getting what you're trying to get across to them. Is that, we each one of us have that internal feeling, that internal skill within us that we can uncover our purpose in life and bring us joy and happiness and get in touch with our 5-year-old self. Yes. So I agree with that. Absolutely. So, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you'll have you come back on again sometime in the near future. I would.
Absolutely. We're having so much fun.
Yeah.
We will be back. So we'll talk about some stuff.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, thank you, Edna. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, audience.
Everyone, we had Edna J. White here with us. She's a certified life purpose and performance coach, she's speaker, author, licensed real estate broker, and instructor. She really taps in on uncovering your natural purpose. And if you guys are interested in contacting her, I know she would love to hear from you. All you have to do is go to her website, thisisforyou.com, and contact her there. I'm sure she would be able to help you and guide you through what you feel like you possibly need in your life, and uncover the onion, so to speak, uncover those peels for you. Well, you guys, it went very, very fast. This is Cece Schatz. You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and we love having you. We love being with you each and every week. And I hope that you'll stick around for all the other great shows we have here on the Going Solo Network. If you'd like to email me, my email is goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. All of my information is on goingsolomedia.com. And then, of course, if you want to connect with the singles, we want you to be able to do that. Connect with other like-minded individuals such as yourself to help move you through to the transition of your life that you want to live your best life. And all you do is go to goingsolonetwork.com. There's plenty of websites there. Pick the one that you're interested in, click on it and join it. We would love to have you. So I'll catch you next week. Bye.